Welcome to a spectacular episode of the Don't Talk to Me Bloodcast. Joining me in the darkness today is...
Oh, Ashlyn Werewolf.
And I am the pretty guardian who fights for love and for beauty. I'm Sailor Venus.
And I, Dr. Bradlestein, will be talking about spooky, scary things. Blah. But like not like that bad. Not like too scary, you know?
Not like you've got a sinus infection.
Exactly.
Just a little bit scary. Not like you used to.
I mean, I do have a sinus infection. But fine. Like, we're fine. We talked about it and it's fine. I was thinking, because it is spooky season, what are you guys going to dress up as? I mean, you might get some trick-or-treaters in the van.
Oh my god. We are getting trick-or-treaters and I'm super excited about it. Because we had some kids come around and give us a little balloon and like a little note that was like, if you're doing Halloween,
sweet.
please put this balloon outside. How fucking cute is that?
That's
Is
adorable.
so sweet. And that's so smart. That
I
is
know,
so
right? So then they know where to go on like actual Halloween. So I'm super excited. I'm gonna get all the candy. Oh, I'm super amped.
That is very lovely. What are you going to dress as?
Well, I have our costumes actually arrived yesterday.
Ooh.
And me and Craig are dressing up as Robin and Steve from Stranger Things in our Scoops Ahoy outfits.
That's fucking fantastic.
I really like that. I like that
I'm
a
so
lot.
excited. We tried them on this morning and they fit, thank God.
Yeah. Thank God.
But we're also going out next weekend for like, there's like a horror immersive thing in Perth. So we're driving up there for the weekend. It starts at like 9 p.m. There's like actors and stuff.
Oh,
like
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw you guys express that on Facebook. That's really cool.
I'm keen. And then afterwards we'll probably just go to town and
He's like, I saw you guys express that. Thanks for the invite.
awkward.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, actually, I will be in Perth, but I will be not being
But
very...
I don't want to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like scary things, and going to things like that, I'm always like, oh, if it's family friendly, maybe I'll be okay. But then I realize that most primary school age children are more brave than I when it comes to horror.
That's true.
So-
Honestly, I am
true.
such a wuss as well, so I'm hoping there's not a heap of jump scares and that it's more like
Yeah.
the overall atmosphere of the place.
See,
But
jump
we'll
scares.
see.
Jump scares don't bother me. Jump scares I'm okay with, which I think is very strange because most people have the issue with jump scares. I hate the stuff that makes you go into your head because I have an overactive imagination.
Right, yeah.
It's really great for being single and not getting laid and having to rely on porn. Terrible for watching horror.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean,
yeah.
it's like to the point where I'm like, but what if I have the power to make things real?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's an anxiety thing.
Absolutely.
I don't think neurotypical people get that, but I fucking do.
I doubt it. I'm like, but what if it is real and it's based on a true story and the only reason we're looking at it is because it already exists and because it wanted us to see it.
No.
What if the government is hiding people with supernatural powers from us?
Exactly.
And this
Oh,
shit
for
is
they
all real?
sure.
They absolutely are.
The government are fucking witch hunters, and
I would not go that far.
we're gonna have these mystical powers, and shit's gonna get fucking real.
Just because they lead witch hunts doesn't mean they are witch hunters.
Well, true.
I mean,
That's what they're
I
dressing
actually
up for
have a
Halloween.
story. I have a story about. I mean, to be honest, the whole Parliament should dress up as pilgrims because that's how they fucking act.
It's fair, yeah.
I have a story, speaking of witch hunters, about a family friend of mine. I don't know how to say because it is quite a dark story. So I
Did
don't
it happen?
really know.
Did it happen to a friend of yours?
No, it happened to a family member of mine. One that is quite known for being a skeptic. So
Buckle up.
buckle up. So this is the first story. Oh, we're doing spooky stories today, by the way.
Welcome.
Welcome to the
Ashlyn-
podcast.
Ash and Brad are doing scary stories. I'm going to sit here relying heavily on my Kegels and hoping I don't wet myself because scary stories are terrible.
It's true.
Oh,
She's
you'll be
yeah.
fine.
I mean, it's not scary. It's just like a woe story. I mean, one of them's scary, but
Like a woe story, did you
yeah.
say?
A
Like
woe story.
whoa.
So, my aunt, right? Her best friend was dealing with her daughter's. Okay, really, is a friend of a friend of a friend. So
A 90s
essentially,
pop culture reference.
yeah. My aunt's friend's daughter was being abused by her boyfriend, right? And so one day, it got really, really bad, and the boyfriend put the daughter through a wall. And she escaped, went back to my aunt's friend's house, and they had to escape to my aunt's house because the boyfriend was trying to slam down their door and such and such and such, right? Now, my family are known for being like a little bit psychic-y, a little bit witchy, so just keep that in mind. And they decided it would be a good idea to do a banishing spell. So that usually is like to clear a place of spirits, right? You're not meant to do it on a person. So they did the spell. Essentially, it was you get hair from the person, you get an item, which is usually you do it with like the item that the ghost is haunting, but they did it in a human way. They got his hair, they put it in a bag, and they put some kind of blood in the bag, and then they froze it. And the boyfriend.
Wait, whose blood? Wait, what?
Oh, it was animal blood.
Okay. Well, I was like, wow, we just
the
skipping over
boyfriend died overnight. He had a heart attack and died.
Oh, damn, bitch.
Yeah, he had a heart attack overnight and died.
That's fucking hectic.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, they went like...
Yeah,
0
to 100. He died overnight. He literally had a heart attack and died. Yeah, exactly.
That's so fucking scary.
But like, it was meant to be like just like go away, leave us alone, like you're banished. But it killed him. He died.
Oh, you got to be specific with magic.
Yeah,
like,
exactly right.
You want this person done, honey.
Well, it was a banishing a spirit. So I think they banished his spirit out of his body.
Forever.
Rookie mistake there.
Rookie mistake, honestly.
That's intense.
But yeah.
See, witchcraft is real, and whoever has my voodoo doll should fucking take it to the gym.
Exactly. And stop stabbing it in the gut.
Yeah, stop making my voodoo doll poop. It's weird, guys.
Stop leaving it in the bathroom. But yeah, let's move on to one of Ashlyn's mum's stories because it's a bit boring as well.
I don't have any stories. Ghosts don't come visit me. If
That's
we can
probably a good thing.
Visit me, that'd be good. I want some of my own stories.
I mean, you'll have some ghosts visiting you today because the day this is released is the 31st. Happy Halloween.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're releasing on the... oh, wait, it is. No, we're releasing the day before, on the 30th.
Yeah, hump day is the 30th.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Wednesday was the 31st.
No, man, Thursday.
Thursday is Halloween.
And everyone's going to be thirsty for candy.
Thirsty for blood.
Coke bottle candy.
Yeah. Well, I love Coke bottles.
Oh, me too. It's my fave.
Yeah.
So one of Mum's stories that she told me, this was before I was born, when my brother was probably around 4 years old. Apparently she woke up in the middle of the night and thought she saw him sort of running around and heard him and was like, oh God, what is he doing awake? You know, she gets up, she's half asleep. She's like, what are you doing? Why are you awake? She wanders down the hallway and she sees my brother standing there and she's like, what are you doing out of bed? And then he wanders down the hallway and she's like, excuse me, why are you not talking to me? Follows him down the hallway. He turns around and then just vanishes. And she's like, what the fuck? And then she goes to my brother's room and he's just fast asleep.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
She's
fuck
like,
that.
huh, okay.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Be happy while I go drown myself in the bathtub.
That's fine. Everything's fine. This is fine.
That's fucked up.
So yeah, that one always, worried me. And she was a single mum too, so it was like just her and my brother. So
yuck. I speaking of mums, my mum has a few. So she's an aged care nurse. She's total skeptic, doesn't believe in anything, doesn't, So she, huge skeptic, is at work. I shouldn't say that. She's a skeptic in her. She doesn't feel like she can interact with anything. Like she believes in ghosts, she just doesn't believe in psychics, which is ironic. So she was at work one day and she was working in this old place. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name of the place, but it's
Probably
in
not.
the
Redacted.
southeast. In the southeast of Melbourne. It's a very famous company, and one of the bigger ones that are known for being a little bit shit. And everyone who's worked in aged care knows exactly what I'm talking about right now. And there was an old wing that used to be where they would house the like mentally decrepit people. And it had turned into, because it was a proper hospital, it wasn't an aged care home, I shouldn't say. It was an aged care wing. So it used to be the mental health wing, and at night, a lot of freaky shit would happen. And my mum was doing rounds because she's a Div 1 nurse. This was before Div 2s were allowed to give out medication. And she was going around with a huge trolley, and her radio starts going off. And it's a woman on the other line. And she's asking questions and talking. And my mom's like, "Oh, who is this? Like, do you need me to come and help you? Like, do you need assistance? Is there a patient, you know?" And the lady shuts off, and she goes back to the nurses' building, the nurses' room. There's like a square in the middle, the nurses' station, and she sees that the walkie-talkie is hung up. There's the only other walkie-talkie is in the charging station, and all the other nurses were on like their duties.
Oh God.
And so there was another lady there who was like super like hippy dippy, like crystals, everything. And my mum got really scared and went to the staff room and was like, "Oh, this just happened," because she was quite young at the time. And this lady was like, "Oh, that's just Marge. She's waiting for her husband to pass. She passed about a week ago." And
Oh, just casually.
yeah, and my
Don't
mum
worry
was like,
about it.
question mark, like what the fuck? And then the next few days, the husband passed and the walkie-talkie stopped going off.
Nope, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, super no thank you, super no thank you.
Oh my God, I wonder what she was saying in the walkie-talkie.
I don't remember. This is a story my mum told a long time ago.
Yeah.
But she was asking questions, asking where things were, and I'm like, if you lived in that aged care home, wouldn't you know? But yeah, she but there was no call-in nurses, so everyone who worked there knew exactly where everything was, and the nurses station was locked, and the only people who had the keys was the Don, the director of nursing, and my mum. So nobody could get into that station where the walkie-talkie was without these keys.
Oh, I got the goosebumps.
I hate these fucking stories already.
Oh my God, you love it, babe. You love it.
I remember because I did a hospital placement as part of my training. I've probably said that like 5 times on the podcast already. Going to the morgue, like most horrendous part of the hospital, like literally, I mean, other than the fact that they always put it somewhere really spooky, like it's always down a fucking long corridor where no one goes,
the
and like,
basement.
yeah, it fucking sets, like they choose it somewhere to set the mood. But
Well,
I remember
that's
having
kind
to
of
go
the
there.
point, isn't it?
Yeah, but I remember going on a tour there because, like, you do like your induction and you go
Yeah.
that end of the hospital, and like again, yes, it's also colder because they have to refrigerate everything, but like you get chills up your spine.
Yeah.
And like when patients die and stuff in hospital, like the whole mood of the place again just goes like horrible, which again, part of that's like, you know, the psychology side of it. But no, I hate it hearing about stuff in hospitals.
Yeah.
Like the old asylum in Western Australia, they put independent living units there now.
Hell
That
yeah.
terrifies me. It's like, you know, let's put a graveyard on a fucking sacrificial, you know, sacrifice site or some shit. What could go wrong?
A graveyard wouldn't be fine because who's haunting the dead?
True.
We, speaking of hospitals and sanatoriums, I was dating a ghost hunter. I think I've told you about this, V, but I don't think I've told Ashlyn.
You have not told me.
So I was dating a ghost hunter. His name was, which is the most, and he lived ages out of Melbourne. So the only time we'd ever see each other was when we'd go and do these things. And so we went to a sanatorium. Essentially, he would get paid to go to clients' houses and investigate, right?
How do I get this job?
You can. So
please
if
tell
you
me.
advertise on Facebook, people will pay you.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, as long as you have like proof of ability. And so he brought me on as his psychic investigator, right? And so what that meant was I had to go in and see if it was actually haunted before we did a reading. And if it wasn't, I'd just say it's not, you're not going to get anything, and he'd have to make it up, essentially. And we went in to the sanatorium, and I was like, this is 1,000,000% haunted. I don't know why the fuck they would think it wasn't haunted. And because we went in with a group, they wanted someone to do a tour. They didn't do ghost tours at the time. So we gave them the ghost tour. And you're not allowed to stay there at night. So we didn't have to stay over. Thank God. I don't think I could. But we went in, there was like clanging on all the walls and fucking voices and shadows. And it was possibly the most like scary spiritual thing that I've ever been through. And I'm never going back to one of those like ghost hotspots, because it's a hotspot for people who don't see ghosts. But if you're like a psychic going into that place, it's fucking terrifying. It is fucking terrifying. Is known for being like super, super haunted. Yeah, no, it was fucked up. It was so fucked up. Yeah, no, 1,000,000% no.
See, for the amount of places like that I've visited, I've had nothing happen. But
no.
I mean, I guess mainly because when you do places like that, you're with a big group. Like, there's no other way you're allowed in there, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, a smaller group. Yeah, fucking terrifying. Fucking terrifying. No, 1,000,000% no. Never again. But
maybe I just need to go with you to somewhere, and then I get.
Yeah, fucking yeah. Because like I attract them. Like at my mum's house where she lives now, where I don't live anymore, it was 1,000,000% haunted. Right? I've lived in 2 haunted houses ever. Lived in 6 houses altogether. And the TVs in her house will turn on and off by themselves all the time, and the lights will flicker, and the water will suddenly go cold, and the lights will turn off. You'll get out, and there's like a handprint on the fucking like stereotypical creepy ghost shit. It was to be fair, I also used to draw in the mirror to scare people. But I used to get sleep paralysis in that house. I used to get really terrible sleep paralysis in that house. So I would be lying down in bed, and I had a huge queen bed. I think it's similar to the one that I have now, if not the same one. And one night I was sleeping on my side, and I had a dog at the time named Patches. She's passed away now, but she always used to do rounds during the night. So she'd go out, run around, and then come back and get back on the bed. So one night she runs out of the room, and I wake up with sleep paralysis as she does this. And I can't move, so I'm just looking at my bathroom, because I had a bathroom and a walk-in robe. So I'm looking, like essentially into the darkness of the bathroom, and I feel something crawl onto the bed. You know how you can feel when the weight shifts on a mattress? And I felt it crawl up like all the way up to the pillows, and Patches did not sleep on the pillows. And so I just feel it. It was not warm. It was like really cold. And then I was like, okay, this is weird. And I just thought it was the dog. And then it put an arm around me.
Nope.
Like it was spooning me.
Was it the big spoon or the little spoon?
I mean, I couldn't see. It was behind me. So it was literally crawled up behind me onto the bed. And then you can't speak and you can't do anything to break out of that, because it's like, it's like, what is it called?
Yeah, I get it as well.
Paratonic somnic something.
Yeah.
But so I was paralyzed and I couldn't see, and it felt like an hour that I was sitting here. But then like I was screaming in my head like, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. And then I finally said it, and then I could feel my body again, and then the thing went away, and I was like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Because I'd never had, like, I moved with the bed. Like, the weight moved me on the bed.
Maybe it was just a ghost that wanted some loving.
Yeah, exactly right.
Maybe it was Freddy. Maybe it was Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, exactly. And he just wanted some lovers.
Does he spoon you though? I don't know if that's one of his things.
He knives you.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. But
forks
that's one of the spookier ones we had. No, that I can't be in that house anymore. It was but it was just one room. It was just one room that was haunted.
It's weird.
So it wasn't like super bad. And then you know how ghosts follow people? Some people, I should say. We had a girl living with us, Mel. Really lovely, really lovely girl. She had trouble with her parents. Her mum had died and her father wasn't in a place to take care of her. And she had this music box, and she moved in, and the music box was staying on a shelf really high up. And one day, my sister and I went to snoop in her room because we are assholes. And we went to snoop because we wanted to borrow Titanic, the movie. This is dating this conversation, but we wanted to borrow the DVD Titanic, and we wanted to borrow the Friends box set. So it really does, and we went in, and the door closed behind us, and the music box started playing, and we were like, no, and we had to run out. And then ever since, going past that room, the door would creep closed. And I'm like, but I'm fairly sure, because the music box was her mother's, so I'm assuming it was her mum's ghost. And after she moved out, it didn't happen anymore.
Fucking hell! Nothing ever good comes from a music box.
No, not even the music. The music's kind of shit.
It's always creepy. It's always
creepy.
like it started on its own. Always. Why do you have them in your house? No.
Well, I'm sure it could. I'm sure there's a mechanism that allows it to start on its own with like leftover kinetic energy or something. But no, 1,000,000% no.
See, I only have wholesome ghosts.
All right, your turn, Ash.
My turn, Ash. V just said she has wholesome ghost stories.
Brad just doesn't love me. It's fine.
It's
no,
true.
But I only have wholesome ones. Like, y'all have all this creepy fucking bullshit. I have, we used to have a ghost at my maternal grandmother's place who used to move the ottoman and used to turn the outside light on for my auntie. So, you'd go... So we lived there for a few years, and, there would be the ottoman. So someone's coming through the living room and obviously the lights are off. The ottoman would randomly move, out of the way.
So
we'd never see it move, but the position would just move, randomly. Pretty much so no one would fall over it. The lights, no one would turn the outside lights on, and then suddenly the lights would randomly be there.
That's a helpful ghost.
Wholesome ghost. But I always used to, when I used to go upstairs in this house, could never go to the end of the hallway. It always felt like someone was watching me. It was creepy as shit. But, moving ottomans.
That's helpful, though. Have I ever had a helpful ghost? I wouldn't know if I've ever had a...
Well, one of them saved you when you talked about the Hat Man, and he, technically sort of was helpful.
Yeah, that's true.
In a scary, terrifying sort of way.
Yeah.
For those who are new this week, if you go check out one of our old podcasts, it's called
Episode
The Dark Lady.
5.
Episode 5. Lady in the Dark, I think it's called.
Lady in the Dark, yeah.
Yeah. Hat
Man. Yeah, the Hat Man.
That's a good one.
Different. The Hat Man was different because I've had two Hat Mans. There was the Hat Man that used to watch me while I slept, and he saved me from the spiders. And then there was the Hat Man who used to scare the shit out of me.
We don't like that one.
Yeah, no, we don't stand. But I was just gonna finish off one of my stories with a psychic key story. I told you guys about my sister falling off the ladder, the amount of times I've saved my sister's life by, having visions. But the one that I haven't said is my grandfather had multiple strokes, multiple heart attacks, multiple everything, right? So that's going to be great. But he was speech impaired because of the strokes. And one day we went there, and it was just like a routine thing, we always used to go and visit. My mum is very close to her mum, and is very close to her dad. So we always used to visit when we were younger. And this was a particularly shit time, and they used to babysit us. So I was there with my sister, and later at night, my brother and my mum came to pick us up. And so we're leaving, and I run back to my grandfather because I just had this feeling. And then I gave him a hug before we left, and I came out, and Mum goes, "What was that about?" And I was like, "Oh, that's the last time I'm seeing Grandpa." And she goes, "Well, that's fucked." Like, she literally scolded me for saying it, and then he died
that's
a couple
fucking
days later.
creepy. Ugh.
Yeah. But yeah, she scolded me. She's like, "That's a terrible thing to say." And I'm like, "Well, it's true."
It's an accurate thing to say.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then he passed away a few days later. But yeah, it was awful. He died of a heart attack in his sleep.
Aw.
When my granddad died earlier this year, which I think was like April, June, something like that, we kind of had to backtrack his Facebook and figure out when he passed because he lived sort of away from all of us. My auntie called him like once a week, and we used to sort of call him every so often as well. So he didn't answer her phone call, and we had to like backtrack and figure out when he'd passed.
Oh.
And we figured out the rough time of when that was. That afternoon, my dog just randomly, like, you know, he'll bark at things, but you can always track down what it is. But for overall, like, he doesn't really bark unless there is a very obvious trigger, like a loud noise or something on the television. That afternoon, we could not stop him from barking. He just was barking and barking and barking. And then literally 2 days later, we found out that my granddad had passed.
Yikes.
So
Did it go to a coroner?
it did.
Did they tell you the accurate like time of death?
They had an estimate because of rigor mortis, but he was also in the bathroom, and sometimes that can impact. So
yes, it can.
And the other thing is, like, you know, I am a very firm believer, and this is, you know, might be because of my training or whatever, but I am of the belief that sometimes people's souls leave their body before their body shuts down. So if he'd had like a massive,
I also believe that. Yeah.
Oh, whatever they're called, the circle of what's-it strokes. I forget the name, but basically it's a massive stroke where pretty much everything shuts down, but then you have minimal brainstem activity, and that's kind of the last thing to go. So your parts of your brain that make you will have shut down, and it's just very small stuff. So again, that can impact rigor mortis as well. But my granddad, I love him. He is one of my favorite people in the entire universe. He used to post ridiculous, like, horrible un-PC shit all over Facebook. And that was his great hobby, and he hadn't done that after sort of the Thursday of that week, which is when my dog went. That afternoon, my dog went absolutely apeshit, and he missed a GP appointment, so we're pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's awful. Well, I mean, Percy's a psychic.
Percy is a psychic. My dog watches
confirmed.
Twitch and is a psychic.
Confirmed. Watches more Twitch than me and is a psychic. So fucking rude. You guys wanted to talk about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, didn't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was going to save it till next week because it's not that spooky, but fuck, I fangirl over that show.
Well, I mean, she is crazy, and crazy people are apparently scary, according to...
This is true.
You know.
Well, we can make it spooky by talking about their Halloween spooky episode.
That show, honestly, they do the best Halloween specials. That show fucking nailed them.
It's
Those
campy.
outfits.
Like, the show is campy.
Loved it.
It fits well.
It does, but just like, I don't know, just that whole show, like, is great. But there are a few shows that do Halloween specials really, really, really well.
Scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The heist. The Halloween heist.
How do you need to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
It's true, you do.
I do. It's on my list. My list is like 1 billion pages long.
Bump it to the top.
It's on there. But yeah, I can't think of any show that I like Halloween specials of more.
Community?
No, I still like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend ones more. They did. The Community smash it, though.
I'm just trying to think who else does them.
Simpsons did. Like, the Simpsons ones I used to really enjoy as a kid.
Oh,
but
yeah.
not so much as an adult.
Yeah. Treehouse of Horror were really good.
Bob's Burgers don't do the greatest Halloween specials, but the lines that Linda Belcher gets in the fucking Halloween special episodes are greatness.
I just love
Bob's Burgers all round.
It's who voices the little girl? Fuck, I'm blanking on
Louise or
Louise.
Tina?
Louise.
Oh, it's
Kristen Scholl?
Yeah, she's a comedian, right? It's
Yeah, Kristen Schaal, I think, but not. It used to be Sarah Silverman.
yeah,
But
Kristen
I
Bell.
think it's Kristen Schaal.
Yeah,
She
correct.
recently put out a comedy special, and it is the funniest thing I have ever seen. And if you are needing a laugh, go look up Kristen Schall's Comedy Central special, and it is the funniest thing. She talks about, because you don't expect someone with that voice and that stature to talk about like truly disgusting sex stuff, but she does. So it's
She's
just
very sweet looking, like very
yes,
sweet
exactly.
demeanor, and then
And she's talking about like getting cum in her face, and she's really funny.
So that's got Bradley hooked right there. Right
Well,
there.
it's just my positive thing of the week. What's your guys' positive thing of the week?
Oh yes, good news week, guys.
Ooh.
It's a spooky news week in general, but what's your good news week?
Well, I can probably tell you guys this, but we have to keep it between us. Hush, hush. It's okay because there's only like 4 people that listen to this.
Exactly.
So we have a baby fox at my place at the moment, and she's super, super sweet. We're just fostering her until she goes to her new home at a wildlife sanctuary. So by the time this comes out, she won't be at our house anymore. So that's
The cops can't come for you.
yeah.
And
the
it's not a
FBI
house.
can't find me. Exactly, they can't find me. I'm everywhere and nowhere.
You like that movie, Lucy. All right, what about you, V? What's good in your life?
I did a pottery class this morning. So I'm officially, like, we've known for a while that internally I'm a middle-aged woman. But now I've done a pottery class. So
now it's proven.
I have clay in my cuticles that I can't wash out. So now I'm a proper middle-aged woman.
Thank God.
And I didn't fuck it up. I actually did pretty fucking good. I'm really proud of myself.
Did I tell you that I used to sabotage sculptures in pottery class?
Of course you did.
I think but I don't think I told Ash, and I definitely haven't spoke about it on the podcast.
What?
So when I was in year 8, we had a pottery class, and it was literally we went in and played with clay for half an hour. More than that, like an hour, and it would be put in a kiln, and we'd get the results, right, and then we'd be graded based on that. And so every week I would stay back and after class and everyone had left, I'll be like, oh, help clean up. And she's like, oh my God, thanks. And I would put pockets of air in every single person's sculptures. And if you don't know, if one goes off, they all go off. Like they all shut because it's shrapnel.
Yeah.
And every single week these things would explode, right?
Oh, you're so evil.
So
You're
we
such
never
a
got
fucking
graded.
chaotic neutral.
So we never ever got graded. And theoretically, I justified it. I was like, well, I'm getting people who would not get a good grade.
What about the people that would get a good grade?
Also get a good grade. So, and they were like, oh, it must be the kiln. And so they had to buy a new kiln. And it didn't happen again because I stopped after that. They bought a new kiln because everything was exploding inside it.
Oh my God!
And they never
like,
tracked it down. I was like, I can't do it after this. I literally cannot. There's no way.
Remind me what Hogwarts house you're in again, Bradley?
Slytherin, 100%.
Yeah.
Slytherin, 100%. I'm either Ravenclaw or
Yeah.
Slytherin, but I really identify with Slytherin.
You're a Slytherin.
But yeah, I used to just like put a finger in the bottom of these things.
Just one.
And then
Just one
close it
finger.
over. Yeah, because it just needed to be a big enough air pocket for it to explode. Yeah. But I felt like I was doing vigilante justice, and I also enjoyed exploding things.
Jesus.
So really, I am Batman. That's not my good news week. My good news week is.
Are you going to be Batman for Halloween this year?
No. We got a house.
Okay, so you're going to be a house for Halloween this year?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're moving on Halloween.
Aw,
So I don't get Halloween this year.
damn. I mean, you can still go out, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, do you mean you're moving on the 31st, or do you mean like
Yes.
the weekend after?
The
Oh
31st.
fuck, bitch! You can still do stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's going to be
After is party weekend.
I'm just gonna like do it spooky, you know what I mean? I'm
mean,
gonna
when are you not
move
doing
in
it
full
spooky?
makeup. It's true. I do everything in drag. So we got a house. It's really nice. It has a dishwasher. Thank you, V.
Nice.
And I I'm just really excited. I'm really, really excited. I was not excited to do the bond application. That fucking sucked. That was like literally 50 pages of paperwork that I had to scan and rescan because it was like, oh, this has to be 500 kilobytes, which is half a megabyte, I should say. And you know what things scan at? 90 megabytes. That's what the average scan is. So I had to go into a compressor and individually compress all of these files one by one after they're scanned and then upload them. It was so fucking tedious. It was so fucking tedious, but it's done now. It's done and I can relax.
That's so exciting though.
Very glad. Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. That's going to be me when we finally move into a house.
Get a house, yeah. It's going to be really good. We're sort of deciding like which rooms are which and like the schedule for stuff. And we have to go see the house because 2 of us haven't even seen the house. Me and Emily went to see the house, but Cody and Harry haven't seen it yet. So we have to go and see it on the 30th when we get our key. It's
Harry moving in?
I'm very excited. Yeah, he's coming.
Oh, well.
He's moving in March.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
But don't tell the real estate because they think he's staying on. It's not illegal. It's just maybe he'll move, maybe he won't. But that's my good news week. That's my good news week.
Harry's lotto between now and then he'll stay. So
exactly, and we'll buy the house. But we also started watching Drag Race UK. Yeah.
And it was Snatch Game. Speaking of Halloween, though, another episode. Oh, no. Actually, there will not be another episode between now and when this releases. So, we just had Snatch Game on Drag Race UK, which is the closest thing you're going to get to Halloween because it's like dress up some characters. Fucking the Vivian doing Donald Trump.
The Vivian
Holy
Donald
shit.
Trump was fucking ridiculous. I don't like the Vivian, but she is incredibly talented. She's incredibly talented.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. I think I liked her Donald Trump more than I liked Judge Judy. I think I liked her Donald Trump more than Judy.
Yeah, I think I did too. It was just so accurate, and yes, it's an easy persona to do because there's so much about that character, but it takes a lot to really embody him.
That accent was fucking ridiculous. I've never heard someone do Trump so good. The only Snatch Game that I like more is Katya doing Bjork because that was just fucking ridiculous.
That's my all-time favorite. That's my all-time favorite.
But second, like those, I have to say, Drag Race UK, they're fucking smashing it. Like it really does show the difference between the US drag scene and the UK drag scene. Like the UK, even the like the girls are like, oh, I'm all a look, I'm a look queen. I turn looks. They're still fucking funny.
Yeah. Who is your favorite so far?
I love Bagger.
I do like Bagger. I don't think her drag is as impressive as Davina DeCampo.
I have a feeling I'm going to like Davina.
Yeah.
And her look last week with the David Bowie inspired one, that was immaculate.
It was, yeah.
I also really like Crystal. I love queens that play with gender. I really, really love it when queens really play with gender. It's why, really unpopular opinion. It's why I liked Milk. I know a lot of people hate Milk, and I know that Milk is a very controversial person in general. But I love that style, and I love the chest hair. Big fan of the chest hair.
I'm really glad that Vinegar Strokes went home.
Yes.
That drag was so unimpressive. It was so unpolished. It was just like very funny as a person, not a, you know what I mean?
You can tell that they're a West End actor because their acting was fantastic.
Yeah.
And
that's about it.
But again, there's that thing of there's different types of drag, and I think sometimes we talk about who did well in Drag Race, but I think the thing to always remember is, and I know that we've talked about this before, Brad, is like just because people don't perform on Drag Race doesn't mean they're not incredibly talented. But
exactly, yeah.
Her performance, Vinegar
like
Strokes' performance, not good. Yeah.
I think the contender to win for me right now, the contenders, I should say, is the Vivian, Davina, and Bagger. I think 100%. They have the strongest personalities, and I think that's what really plays well in this sort of,
I have a
you know.
feeling.
But I also really like Blue and Crystal. So it's hard because everyone's kind of there for me.
It's so good. I don't think there has been this good of a cast and this competitive of a
In a long
cast
time.
since Bianca and Courtney and like Adore's season.
Yeah.
Like it
I
hasn't
agree.
been that high caliber
I
since
agree.
then. I actually have a feeling Blue's going to be a little fucking dark horse though. I just have
Me
this
too.
feeling.
Yeah. Blue Hydrangea. Very, very much. Well, we're coming up on an hour. So I say we recap next week's episode next week. I have had a very spooky time. And we will see you next Wednesday. Again, happy Halloween, all my little batches. Batches. And I guess you'll have to get used to it, bitch.
Also, treat your trick-or-treaters and give them full-size candy bars.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
And don't murder them. God, we shouldn't have to say this. Bye.
Bye.
Ooh.
Spooky boo bye.